Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brendan Plays. This is Total Extreme Wrestling for our All Elite Wrestling Save. Just a couple of weeks away from Double or Nothing as we continue to build on to what we have already been able to accomplish so far, and that's a whole host of storylines, lots of matches ready to go for the pay-per-view. I feel like we're kind of ready for the pay-per-view already. We're just kind of stalling and just finishing things up. But of course, here's the card. We've got the All Elite Championship Tournament Final. We were going to do Kenny and Bryan. That's going to be changed to the Blood and Guts, and we'll do the world title between Kenny and Bryan at some other point. Final encounter between Punk and MJF. Park and Sammy Guevara, that'll be their third and final match. The rubber match, we might do a ladder match. Keith Lee, we need to find an opponent for him. We'll have a look at that in more detail. Potentially it could be Swerve. I think we're kind of laying some, a bit of a foundation for that, so we might do that. House of Black versus FTR. Tay versus Divinity, the new team in AEW, Jade Cargill and Ruby Soho, and Jericho and Adam Page. So I feel like it's a pretty strong card. Obviously, Blood and Guts is the big main event match. No world title match, which I suppose is a bit of a downer, but, I feel like we can get away with it and do something a bit bigger down the line. But yeah, that's the card that we have planned for Double or Nothing. We're still building towards it. Another match we could add, of course, is Ricky Starks and Orange Cassidy. That's a new storyline we've just got. If we need another match, if we have any spare time, we can always stick that on there. Athena and Britt Baker as well. We just had, Britt Baker beat Diamante. We've had these two go kind of back and forth in promos. So we were going to kind of hold off until the pay-per-view for this one, but we're going to go with that early rather than wait to the pay-per-view. So anyways, the card is all booked for today's episode of Dynamite, so we may as well jump in. We've got a few pre-show matches, so let's get into those. First being Wheeler Yuta taking on Lance Archer, giving Lance the win. So even though we put Lance in this new reincarnation of the Christian Coalition, we still find that Lance isn't in the mix, which is a real shame. It's a bit frustrating, and, well, quite honestly, he'd be a good opponent for Keith Lee, wouldn't he? TNT Championship, so maybe we could do that. But yeah, we are trying to just keep Lance getting him wins, making him look good. 76 rated performance is really freaking good. Now, it was a bit of a squash match, so that could be a helping hand. But Lance still so much to offer, still very, very good, even though he's getting a bit older. Varsity Blondes were defeated by the Men of the Year, 52 rated match. So we decided to give Men of the Year a win. Obviously, Ethan Page is in the All-Atlantic Championship Tournament. He's had a lot of losses so far. So I figured, okay, let's give him a tag team win just to give him a little bit of momentum. 52, not too bad. Final pre-show match was Solo and Comorado coming up from Developmental for a night. They lost to Private Party, 58 rated match. Again, another way just to get Private Party on the card, get them a win. I feel like I've missed a trick with Private Party. I feel like those two guys should be a much bigger deal in the tag division. I've looked at a few different people that we've really tried to push hard throughout the series and get them from the bottom to the top. That's been Ricky Starks, it's been Will Hobbs, and I feel like Private Party should have been the other one that we didn't quite nail. Sammy Guevara is another one who's really gone all the way to the main event. But Private Party, I feel like we've missed out there. Is it too late to try and push them? No, but it's going to be hard because there are so many tag teams that are ahead of them in terms of popularity. So, yeah, I still want to try and do something with them, but it might be hard to get them to break through the middle of the pack. Okay, let's open up this episode of Dynamite with our opening contest of Miro and Claudio Castagnoli in the All-Atlantic Championship Tournament. One of the big premier matches. I figured, okay, let's kick off Dynamite with a bang. In this one, Miro did defeat Claudio. He cheated. He had a handful of tights to win, so it still protects Claudio. This has been Miro's toughest opponent so far, because we really are trying to paint Claudio as a potential winner, and I feel he could actually win the tournament, and we might see this match as the final, potentially. But Miro 82, Claudio 75, really good stuff, strong, solid match. 78, can't complain with that. You probably would think maybe you could do a little bit better with these two guys, but certainly a solid match to get things underway. Post-match, Miro continues attacking Claudio, 85 for that one. So Miro, he won, he beat Claudio, he cheated, and he kind of wanted just to put a bit of insult to injury or put a bit more emphasis on the win and continue the attack on Claudio, just to send a bit of a message to everyone else in the locker room. So pretty much for the All Atlantic Championship tournament, all we have left is the big gun matches. You know, we've got Claudio and Sammy and Park. Those combinations. Miro's going to take on Sammy and Park, I think. So Andrade, I think he might have to take on Miro. So, you know, lots of big headline matches that could be main event matches. So the next few weeks of TV is going to be really good. 85 of that 7, which is good. Samoa Joe gets a win over Jake Hager, 70 rated. 12-minute match. Joe 72, Hager 54. Wanted to get Joe back on TV, get him a win, make him look good, as of course he's now going to be involved in the Blood and Guts matchup, and he promises to get revenge on Kenny Omega, 79 for that one. So good promo by Joe as we continue building to that big headline match. Jim Ross interviews Divinity about their attack last week on TJ. So trying to use JR here to boost up Divinity. Now Divinity are not a great team of talkers, so this promo wasn't, you know, this talking segment wasn't great, this interview. But JR probably elevated a little bit and helped gain some heat in the storyline. So that's an important gain there, and hopefully that will help boost this segment, boost this overall story to get it to where it needs to be for the tag division. Here's a match. Wow. Now this could have been, and probably should have been, the main event of today's show. I really didn't think about it, but of course, you got Park versus Andrade. We talked about we have got some heavy hitters to come. 86 rated match. Park 89, Andrade 81. Heck of a match here. Really, really freaking good. Now Andrade did win. Now he did win by using a foreign object, which was given to him by Christian. So Christian is of course part of the Christian Coalition, is Andrade. So he's managing Andrade at the moment, and he helped Andrade steal the victory over Park. So heel versus heel, yes, but you know, we needed to give Andrade a statement win as well. I think we might have had Sammy Guevara involved in this one too. I'm not sure, but yeah, we had this as a steal the show match. It delivered really well. Flash pinfall, so even though Park loses to Andrade, it's going to still protect him, and hopefully it does give Andrade a bit of popularity. Park's gained a lot recently, so after beating Sammy Guevara, so he's still got plenty to kind of give to someone else, and that's what we're trying to do here. Share the love around. Ricky Starks has a promo about why he hates Orange Cassidy so much. I think Ricky Starks could probably speak all day about that, but 62 rated for that one, boosting the storyline heat between those two. Dustin Rhodes warns Adam Page about Chris Jericho. So I wanted to kind of do a segment here with someone that knows Chris Jericho pretty well or has been around him for a long time. And I was going to do Sammy Guevara because they were tag team champions together, but I thought, well, Sammy's involved in other stuff, so it probably would make sense. Dustin Rhodes was a good pick. He's not really doing a lot. He's a veteran that can offer some advice. So put him on TV here, and he didn't perform that well in this segment. Apparently Adam Page was fantastic. Dustin was not. But I thought, well, you know, let's try and do one of those veterans that kind of warning the babyface about aligning with the heel long term, and kind of maybe planting some seeds for a turn on one another, or, you know, it's more dissension between the two. Athena took on Britt Baker one-on-one. Britt Baker does win this one. 14-minute match, no eye candy, straight up singles, and it was thanks to the fact that Rebel got herself involved, distracted Athena to allow her the win. So Britt Baker steals the victory. Athena 54, really good actually, the best of the match. Britt 49, 58 rated match between these two is top tier, excellent stuff. Really happy with that. Of course, no eye candy is even a bigger plus. So we didn't wait for the pay-per-view for this one, and I think that was a good call. But obviously, we are potentially setting up for a rematch if we want to at the pay-per-view as well, because Britt Baker stole the win. Athena has a reason to want a rematch, so we're kind of leaving it open to the pay-per-view rematch. Superbad, they trash talk Thunderstorm for 43, so he's still building towards that match between those two teams. CM Punk's got a promo just before his match with Wardlow, so that's the main event of tonight. CM Punk promises to remove the Wardlow problem from the situation. 90 rated here in this one, so good, solid promo leading into the match. It's going to be hard to beat the Andrade and Park match, but hopefully we can still get an 80 plus. Let's take a look. It is 80 plus. It's 81. So, CM Punk only performing at 74. Wow, that's not good. Wardlow 67. Wardlow was really off his game. What went wrong with CM Punk? I mean, it was an 18-minute match. It was a long one. We had Wardlow take a big bump in this one as well. So CM Punk, just his declining physical ability brought him down a little bit, but you wouldn't think that it would bring him down that much, but maybe the finish. So MJF accidentally hit Wardlow as the finish of the match. All of the Pinnacle were ringside as well. So 81 rated. Look, it delivered. It got the result. 81 is fine. That is good. I'm just a little bit worried about CM Punk's performance, but hopefully it's just a one-off. Don't have to worry about it. It was pretty overbooked, so maybe that brought it all down. Wardlow debuted a new power spot that will showcase his strength, his psychology, will be helpful, and be able to use it as a go-to spot in the future. Well, that's a massive plus. Anything that boosts Wardlow's ability is a great result. Post-match, it was an MJF attack taken care of CM Punk. So the Pinnacle were there to help MJF beat down CM Punk. 90 rated there. So an overall, a pretty freaking good show. 84 rated. Andrade and Punk would have been an ambitious main event to do it over Punk and Wardlow, but it probably would have been the better choice. But still, 3 high-quality matches on this show to give us an 84-rated show of Dynamite. That could be one of our best we've ever done. That is really, really good. This week's AEW Dark is booked. Let's jump into it. And the opening contest will see the House of Black defeat the Wingman. 60-rated match. Best of the match was Darby Allin 71, Buddy Matthews 67, Brody King 61. Yeah, we talked about last episode starting to think about the Trios Championship. Well, we are looking to do a few more Trios matches, just kind of test the waters, see what we've got, see what sort of results we're going to get with a Trios match as well. You know, House of Black, pretty solid here. Around the 60s to 70s is pretty good. 60 overall, not a bad match. Swerve and Keith Lee are backstage. Keith Lee says he's organized a tag match with Swerve tonight, 73. So yeah, we're kind of planting the seeds that we might go with a Swerve and Keith Lee sort of, dissension. I don't actually want to break them up, but what I'm thinking is doing, maybe a match to kind of see, all right, who's the better out of the two? Put the title on the line, let the winner take the championship, and get this bad blood out of the way. They have a match, and then they can kind of put all that behind them and just go about being a team again. Just kind of one of those, friends that just need to fight it out, get this bad blood out of the way, and then they can just focus on being a team again. That sort of scenario. 73 anyways for this segment. Brian Cage defeats Angelico for 61. No psychology, brought the match down a little bit. 5-minute match. How much psychology do you really need? 61 though, pretty good. Cage 71 for him. Angelico 55. Shida and Yuka Sakazaki, they get a hype video for 43. Really trying on Dark anyways, utilizing every minute of this show to try and cram in as many names, just get them on TV, even though it's, the YouTube show, just get them on there. Get them on there doing something, make some appearances, try and involve the majority of the roster. Dark's a great place to do it, and was trying to do that here with the Shining Force. Divinity, they pick up a win over the Baddies for a 53 rated match. That's pretty good. Nyla Rose 60. That's massive. Mercedes Martinez 51. Well, I'm thinking the combination that we're going to use at the pay-per-view to take on TJ will be Nyla and Mercedes. To get a 51 and a 60 respectively from those two is massive. That's really good. So Nyla, the best of the match, no surprise. On the other side though, Kiera Hogan, 47 rather, and Red Velvet, 34. That's pretty good too. But yeah, Divinity with a big win, their first match just as a tag team, not a trio. And I gotta say, it's a good result. Post-match, they beat down the Baddies even further for 41. So really putting, some emphasis on that victory there. So building towards their eventual tag team championship match. Powerhouse Hobbs defeats Jeff Parker for 49. Quick, easy win for Hobbs. 66 from him. We had Britt Baker bragging and gloating about beating Athena on Dynamite for 51. Of course, she cheated to do it. But Britt will always sell it like she won fair and square. So building towards a probable rematch between those two. Next up, an odd pairing here. Leva Bates and Cabanahausen teamed up to take on the Portfolio. Of course, Acclaimed and Jade Cargill. So yeah, another 6-man tag, but a 6-person tag rather, because we've got the intergender stuff there with Jade and Leva involved. Yeah, I wanted to give the Acclaimed a nice solid win, and wanted to get Jade Cargill involved too. And I feel like at the moment with Jade, her performances are pretty poor, so kind of hiding her a little bit with the Acclaimed is not a bad thing. And it's a good way to kind of get her involved, get her in a match without her beating the rest of her division over and over. We can have something a little bit different. So that's what we're doing here. 50 rated match is pretty good, actually. I'm pretty happy with that. So overall, a good result. Jade did defeat Leva to get the win. Best of the match was Colt Cabana, 52. Swerve and Our Glory defeated Danny Garcia and Matt Lee, of course, part of 2.0. 69 rated match. Keith Lee, my goodness, 80 rated. He is a star. Swerve was good too, though. 67, much better from him. Overall, an 8-minute match, an easy win. Swerve and Our Glory pick up a solid win to kind of build them up. Post-match, Swerve walks away from the ring and doesn't celebrate with Keith Lee. So Keith Lee did get the pin. So kind of selling that, hey, you know, it's all about Keith Lee. He's the big star, blah, blah, blah. So kind of, you know, I think Swerve getting a little jealous, a little frustrated that it's all about Keith Lee rather than about the team. 65 for that segment. We had Red Dragon hyping up the Elite's chances of winning Blood and Guts, 57 for that promo, just to get them on TV. Talking segment for them. Good stuff. Our main event was Park picking up a win over Ethan Page in the All-Atlantic Championship Tournament, 76. So this is Ethan Page's last match in the tournament, so he's finished now. He and Buddy Matthews are done. We're just kind of left with the big headline matches. It was a good match. Park obviously had a great match with Andrade and Dynamite. He's backed it up again. 89 performance from him. And Ethan Page was solid, 51. So 76 is really good stuff. Great match. Park probably has been the MVP of this tournament. No surprise there, but he has really, really delivered. You'd be tempted to give him the belt, but he's probably not going to have enough wins to get to the finals at this point. He's had a couple of losses. But overall, a 69 rated edition of Dark. Our Dark shows are starting to get pretty good. We've gone from, you know, the 50s to the low 60s to now getting close to 70s, which is good and bad because you want it to be a good show, but if it's too good, then we're probably not featuring enough of our lower card talent. So I'm kind of trying to remind myself to continue to work on building the popularities of our lesser tier stars as much as I can. Now we have Rampage, and on the pre-show, I wanted to take a look at Paige Van Zandt. She's in Ring of Honor at the moment, working developmental. I've looked at her stats, and she's making some good progress. So I wanted to kind of see what sort of performances she's going to be able to produce. She's got about 42 popularity, and she's currently performing at about 37. To be fair, this match, they had no chemistry, so maybe she might have performed a little bit higher. But yeah, look, 38 rated match, not great, but she picks up a win over Diamante. Yeah, so I'm thinking at some point we'll definitely bring Paige in, and having her as kind of a monster heel where she's just ripping arms off of people, being this dominant MMA crossover sort of talent could definitely work. Not sure if she would work as a babyface, but I feel like you could definitely give her a strong heel run. The only issue, I suppose, you have Jade Cargill. She's kind of doing that sort of role a little bit differently, but she's got that dominant heel run already happening. So maybe there's no spot for her to do that. But something to think about in the future because she has 42 pop. You kind of want to capitalize on that, but something to think about. Now let's kick off the show this week. We've got Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson with the rest of their crews in the ring as Bryan and Kenny are talking about next week's upcoming huge match between Danielson, Omega one-on-one, and they say it will help determine who is the true best in the world. 94 rated segment. So we're going to do the big match next week, one-on-one Dynamite. I feel like we might dedicate half an hour to that match, make it a long one. We'll have some sort of screw job finish to kind of, allow the heels probably to win, and that way we can set up for a rematch and it's got a bit of heat behind it. But yeah, looking forward to seeing that. That's going to be potentially the best match of the series, let's be real. Omega and Bryan, it's going to be big. Next up, Rey Fenix and Claudio Castagnoli had a one-on-one match, part of the tournament. 80 rated, Rey Fenix 81, Claudio 72. So we tried to have this as a steal of the show. I don't know if it helped elevate it or brought it down. Hard to say. But we had Penta and Park ringside. Sammy Guevara was ringside as well. William Regal's there as well, being Claudio's manager. But we had them ringside to kind of, stop any sort of screwy finish happening and have a clean one-on-one match. And Claudio picked up the win, so he's picking up another victory in the tournament. Now, I did say in our episode of Dark that Ethan Page was finished. I did get that wrong. He's got one more match up his sleeve against Sammy Guevara, so I just want to correct that. MJF had a promo as he gloats about ending CM Punk. So obviously he beat him down, destroyed him on Dynamite. He says that Punk's not going to be able to make it to the pay-per-view. He's finished. He's done. MJF is going to be declared as the winner by forfeit. 84 for that one. Orange Cassidy and Tony Nese went one-on-one. Surprisingly, really good match. These two have great chemistry. Cassidy 71, Tony Nese 56. Probably the best match Tony Nese has had so far in the series, at least against a mid-card guy. Great match. Ricky Starks some commentary as well to kind of talk about all this and why he hates Orange Cassidy there. But yeah, nice, really solid middle of the card match. 69. Main event. So we're finally doing this match between Adam Page and Chris Jericho versus FTR. In the end, FTR pick up the win. Finally, they get a massive win. And it's Cash Wheeler pinning Chris Jericho after an interference from Tully Blanchard to help them win. But Jericho takes the loss. So you know this is not going to end well for Page and Jericho. This is meant to be their big opportunity. If they beat FTR, they'd be the new #1 contenders that get the title shot at Double or Nothing. Instead, they walk away with nothing. So more to talk about with this one in the coming weeks. As Adam Page, best of the match, 79. Jericho, 74. Dax, 76. Wheeler, 72. So we'll have to take a look and see if there's any real popularity change for those guys. You'd have to think there would be. But yeah, 80 rated for that match. Really, really good. I was worried that this wouldn't be good enough for the main event because of how bad Jericho and Page have been together as a team, but it definitely did deliver. 80 rated. Gives us an 80 rated show. So nice, really good episode of Rampage to back up a solid Dynamite. Our second best Dynamite so far. Now, good news is that on Dynamite, we did crack the 1 million viewers again. So we've only done it a handful of times, but we've been able to finally do it. Of course, might have been boosted by the fact that we've got some better broadcasting overseas, or at least we will soon. So that's something to consider anyways. Now, we did want to mention, we did see Jericho take a loss, as did Adam Page. So Chris Jericho now 80 popularity. He did have 85. So he's taken a pretty big loss. Now, to be fair, Jericho's been pretty poor, so it doesn't really matter. Adam Page, his popularity's actually dropped quite a lot too. So he had 81, he's dropped to 76. So that must mean Cash and Dax have gained a fair bit. Well, no. Cash has gained nothing. Nothing. Are you serious? And Dax has gained nothing. How does that happen? Nothing at all. Even though they won. So yeah, that is not good. That is not good. But kind of blows my mind. You'd think they would definitely gain at least a couple of points after a win over Jericho and Page, but not to be. So yeah, that's that kind of sucks, I reckon. Anyway, some other guys. Look, Claudio's had some big wins. He's up to 73 at the moment. Park, he's been heavily involved. He's got 73 as well. Ray Phoenix, 62. Miro, of course, he's had a big win, up to 82. So the top guys in this tournament are all looking pretty good. Their popularity is all pretty solid. Guevara 78, so lots to look forward to with that tournament. Wardlow had the big main event match against CM Punk. Did he gain anything? You wouldn't say yes, no. It looks like he's just exactly the same. So that's okay. It's not great, but that's fine. No real surprise there. But obviously next week we got Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega. Both guys should have the popularity cap of about 85 if they're very close, if not. So looking good for that one. 2 weeks away until Double or Nothing. Look, the card's shaping up pretty good. There's a few things we definitely need to address and kind of get in a bit healthier state. Even the CM Punk and MJF match has dipped a little bit. But no doubt the Blood and Guts match is looking pretty good. The Punk MJF match should be good on paper. Jericho and Paige has been a little bit lackluster, but look, the FTR match did help the storyline here at least. That gives us something. And the Atlantic Championship Tournament final, that's just going to be big. I'm really excited for that. And look, we're planting the seeds now for Swerve and Keith Lee. Lance Archer, we can evolve him as well if we want to. So, yeah, it's looking pretty good. So I'm confident that we are going to deliver. If it's not the best pay-per-view of the series, it might be top 3, I reckon. It should be right up there. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have time for this edition of Total Extreme Wrestling. We'll be back with another episode very soon. Thank you for watching. Leave a like on it if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more. See you next time.